Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the art session series. And today we're going to be doing a voiceover of this sketch I did. I think I did use reference, and yes, I believe it was AI as well, of this woman who's black. And I just love the... I don't want to sound weird, but the skin is kind of... Because maybe the background helps, because I think in the reference, in the image, she was like in a farm, and behind her there was like, you know, what are those like wheat fields or something? And she felt like, or it had like that southern farm kind of vibe, and I was kind of into it. And I don't know, the skin just seemed to glow. Not to focus too much on the skin because it's sounding a bit too fetishy, but yeah. You know, just I think what I remember from this sketch or study was there was actually a lot more yellows and reds than I thought. Yeah, than I thought there would be. And to me, because it's not normal, or I don't usually paint people with like darker skin tones. Usually, even if I like when I paint, it's mainly just grayscale. I don't even add any kind of color, so it's going to get worse. When it comes to like darker skin tones, like it's harder to render it. I get it, but I think eventually you're gonna have to, only because you might be tempted to. Anyway, let's focus here. So I think I did start the sketch with with the lasso fill tool. It's kind of similar to my previous video, because I think I did a voiceover of this session I had studying doing a bit of a fan art or a study of this character Gwen, or Spider-Gwen from the Spider-Man universe, Spider-Verse, whatever. And also I did like a study of this dress, this red dress. So yeah. And I think the lasso fill had a bit of opacity in it as well, although it wasn't that it didn't have that much compared to the previous sessions. And you know what's cool is when you make these selections, what you can do is you can hit, I think in Clip Studio Paint it's called color gamut, but in Photoshop it's called a color range. So you can use that form of selection and you can select areas you would like. And it's going to be easy when you have like these shapes where the edges are super defined. And you can change and adjust the colors as you please. And I think it's because I think I had to change like the highlights a bit, or the lighter parts or values of the painting and the skin anyway. And I think it is really convenient to be able to do that through this method. And now you could do it manually, but I've been doing this thing where I've been trying to use more, I don't have to utilize every single tool that Clip Studio Paint has to offer, but I think I should at least be used to using some tools that can speed up my process, because not everything has to be solved via painting, or like in the traditional sense, not everything has to be done manually. Like you can speed up your process by enjoying the tools of your software, and it's not cheating. I think I'm so over that perspective, that mentality of using anything aside from the brush tool or the eraser tool as some kind of a cheat. Now, if you're learning fundamentals, sure, you can limit yourself to like a basic pen or whatever, or brush. But if you're trying to, even when you're doing studies, I think it's good to have studies as well where you do utilize a couple of different tools, because it's a great way for you to actually start to learn and, you know, be familiar with what you can do with the software. Sorry, just drinking some coffee here. And yeah, I think a huge bulk of the painting was trying to figure out like the general massing, and I think the lasso fill is a great tool for that. It does look kind of scrapbooky and it can look ugly, but there's sort of a charm to it, because if you keep pushing through the illustration, eventually, like once you stop using the lasso fill as well, and once you start using like painting or just brushes, it can and does and will look a lot more like it's exciting to be able to reach that process in the end where you start cleaning the edges, blending things a lot more. I think in the final piece, let me just check. Yeah, I think in the final piece, I mainly focused the painting or the rendering or the cleaning up part on the face, and then as you go further down to the body, it was just left as is, and I do like that look. Not everything has to be rendered in the same sort of level. I mean, yeah, if you're doing like a full illustration, you want to make a poster, a print out of it, fine. Or you're creating some kind of print design or whatever, sure. But for like a study, for a sketch, you don't have to go all that far. And I think you can actually lose interest in a sketch if you overwork it. So I think if you're more of the artist who's kind of a sketcher, a painter, and you're just somewhat impatient, I think you will love this approach where you just render mainly just render, tighten up, fix up the 10%, wherever the main focal point is. Just make sure you get that part right, and everything else you can be a bit more vague with it or very loose with it. And I think it's a very fun approach. But if you do, but if you do enjoy obviously adding detail, rendering stuff to the T, then fine, you can do that. So I think for this batch of like painting studies, because I have another batch where it's more drawing. Like I wasn't focused too much on the painting or shape aspect of it. Well, I am thinking of shapes, but the way I did it was mainly through like line. So it was mostly like a drawing. This one it feels more like a painting, and I'm using a couple of extra tools like the lasso fill tool. And I believe this was the last one of that bunch, and I do like how it ended. And oftentimes like it will really get good because there was a portion of this session where the face wasn't correct. I do recommend tools like the liquify tool or the lasso selection tool, so you can like copy it and then move it around to transform certain parts. And also the liquify tool I think really helps to quickly just push things around without having to like add more strokes to the thing, to the painting or image. But I think in the end, once I was able to get the eyes right, it helps, by the way, if you like flip your canvas back and forth so you can see if it looks good either way. Once I got the eyes right, I just felt like the thing was finished. Like there has to be something in the painting that's just done. So as much as I'm into the not finishing the painting all the way and just focusing on the 10%, there has to be, it affirms that concept. You gotta have something in your piece that's just undeniable, that's correct, that's clear, that's somewhat clean, and just in a way more tight, a lot more sharp, I guess. And once you have that, in a way it already like completes the painting. Because if you don't have it, like your eyes don't know where to go. And even if it knows where to go, if something is off in that 10%, it's gonna just piss you off because your eye has already been led to that spot, right? So everything works. But if there's like something there that's maybe the proportions are quite off, or maybe the contrast isn't too, or maybe there are too many things fighting in that 10%, it's gonna piss people off, or it's gonna leave a bad taste or something like that. So if you're gonna work within that 10% anyway, make it good. You don't have to perfect it, but you just have to make it like proportionately correct. I think it's mostly in this case, since we're working on the face, it has to be the proportions. You want to make the left eye look like the right eye. You want to have that symmetrical sort of vibe, because if something is off, it's not gonna feel good and look good. But I did enjoy it, although this took the longest. But in the end, once I was able to like fix the eye and everything else, it felt really good. I did try, I think in between, I tried adding like a gradient, because I've seen other people do this where, they have a lot of shapes in their work, basically like flats, but because they add a bit of like a wash or a graded or a soft brush kind of effect. It's like a soft transition throughout like the body, the face, or it's in any kind of shape. Because that exists, it helps add a bit of volume to your thing. You will see this a lot in like webtoons, where yeah, there are like flat colors underneath, but they'll add like a simple wash, a gradient, and it adds a bit of something in there. And I do like the effect. I tried it, but I just did not know how to. I just quit. I tried it, but I just left the idea to the dust. So, but in the end, I did enjoy the whole thing. It was a nice process. I was able to, because when I was doing these studies, I think it helps to do art where you're not fully where you're engaged with it, but you're not fully engaged. Meaning you have something in the background, like playing, perhaps a podcast or something like that. What I usually like playing in the background is, if it's not like my personal picks in terms of like news, because I do follow like independent like media and stuff like that, but also like in terms of entertainment, I do prefer, I mean, I could watch anime, but anime needs more attention. And even if it's an anime I've already watched, I can't not look at it constantly. So, but for me, what seems to work for like so far is watching gaming channels or having like a gamer play in the background. I don't usually watch streams because I don't really follow people's schedules, but so I mainly watch gaming, like gameplay walkthroughs via YouTube. Now I do have a couple of favorites. Obviously the big one would be KCO. He's a funny guy. Also Swole. And now Fooster's a bit different. He doesn't like, because I know for KCO and Swole, they do stream on Twitch, and they simply post their like YouTube recorded versions on YouTube. But as much as they do Twitch, I don't follow Twitch. I mean, sometimes I'll try to watch, but I just can't keep up with because I live on YouTube, and I just prefer the platform. And most of the videos I watch of these people are not live. It's like recorded. So yeah, because I paint in my own time. Obviously, I'm not following their schedule. Oh, yeah. So there's also a guy named Fooster. I think he does not stream. I think he mainly just records the videos himself on his own time. And I do enjoy his stuff as well. So, you want to make sure that you have types of content that sort of keep you occupied, like in a background kind of way. I mean, yeah, once in a while I'll like take a glance here and there, but it's not all the way engaged to that like piece of media. It's mainly just me and my art. And for me it works. I could like listen to music too, which can work for some, but for me I just like having these fun channels in the background. So do what works for you. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Oh wait, let me just see, because I'm watching the a video of myself obviously doing the thing. I'm watching the real-time version, not the time-lapse version. Yeah, I was able to eventually mix some stuff, especially once I worked a bit on the face, I was able to mix some parts in the body, especially the chest area. I think I did a good job. It's very like abstract, but I do like the look. With that, the further you go down, even in the arms, there's hardly any blending. And that bit of highlight in the shoulder, I do like that. And even though the shape or the edges are kind of sharp and hard, I don't mind it. It kind of works for the look. But oh yeah, let me just skip some parts here. Oh yeah, I was able to do the lips kind of well too. Yeah, I did have reference obviously, but just looking at it now, I'm happy with the results of this beautiful black woman. She doesn't exist, she's an AI kind of thing, but it's about the vibes, right? It's about the vibes. So, and also a farmer's girl, right? I think I was able to suggest the jeans a bit, but I don't think I did a good job. Well, it's not that I did not do a good job. It's because it's not the main focus. The face is the main focus, or the upper part of the body. But yeah, so that's it for this review, or this voiceover for this study sketch session. If you want the brushes, check out the Gumroad link below. If you want to check out my Patreon, check it out. Please like, subscribe, and yes, I'll see you in the next video.